Greetings, nerds. This is Will Polk, host of Cena Nerd, co-host of Cena Nerd Podcast and producer of the Cena Nerd Podcast. And with me today is a special guest, Adam Perez from the A Plus Opinions podcast. And we have done a bunch of shows on his channel, but you know what? I was like, today, got to have Adam over here to talk about the Peacemaker panel that is happening right now in Hall H at Comic-Con. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Will. Thank you so much, man, for having me. I've been wanting to nerd out with somebody for San Diego Comic-Con weekend. I think this is the perfect panel to do it, man. So thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm glad to have you here. Like I said, thank you for joining me. Reached out to you. I was like, dude, we gotta like talk San Diego Comic Con. Sarah couldn't join us today, but she sends her well
We
wishes
miss you,
and
Sarah. We miss you.
yeah. But the panel just got started not too long ago. I was just looking at some of the coverage, and we were just talking in the pre-show about like how hard it is this year. It seems to be to get information out of Comic-Con as far as just good live blogs. I mean, I know people are probably doing streams and stuff on TikTok or whatever, but I don't have. I'm an old person. I don't do like TikToks. Well, it's not, I'm forever young, I should say, but I never got to the whole short form content thing with
I'm
TikTok.
trying,
So
Will.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying, man. I feel
yeah,
like with my laptop not necessarily working the greatest, I feel like I've been having to try and force myself to make content other ways, and it seems like it's
mm,
been very short form because I've been using my phone a lot. So TikTok's
yeah,
been getting a lot of updates, and then even the YouTube channel because they allow like 3 minute shorts, I
yeah,
think.
yep,
So I've been
yep.
trying to keep all my content at like 3 minutes or less right now.
Yeah, yeah, but you guys don't want you're not here to hear us talk about like our platforms of choice and that kind of stuff. You're here for Peacemaker news, and we are checking the interwebs as content comes out. I know I did see that James Gunn has taken the stage. Of course, the big thing
Nice.
today is we definitely want to, we definitely are going to be getting a full trailer for season 2. I'm sure we'll be getting other items from Comic-Con, but I know just leading up to the event, I was just looking, I was able to find a couple things. We got a great shot of the cast here. Of
Nice.
course, Cena is in the Peacemaker costume. And we see other members of the cast as well, as far as obviously James Gunn. We see Frank Grillo there, who's going to be returning as Rick Flag Sr. Of course, we did see him just recently in Superman, and we also saw, spoiler alert if you haven't seen, it's been a few weeks now, but I think enough time has passed that Cena as Peacemaker was in Superman as well. But also, we did see the animated version of Rick and Creature Commandos, which aired earlier this year, which I guess was the official kickoff to the DCU in the James Gunn era. Did you catch Creature Commandos?
Oh yeah, we did a weekly review on
That's
the
right.
channel. I had a blast with it. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Artwork was great, storylines, especially some of the origin stories, like the background stories for some of the
Mhm.
characters were really compelling. Yeah, I pretty much liked everybody in that cast to the point to where I'm ready to kind of see them in live action at some point in time. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping one or two characters carried over for Peacemaker season 2 that we haven't seen yet in some of the promos. So we'll see if anybody from Creature Commandos comes over also.
Yeah, yeah. So we definitely know that Frank is definitely coming over as Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody else will. I watched I got halfway through the season. I need to finish it because I got got pulled into other directions and shows. But I really enjoyed what I watched of Creature Commandos, and of
What
course,
was the last episode you watched? Do you remember?
it was like the fifth episode. I got about halfway through the
Oh,
season,
okay.
so.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I was like, wait, it's like earlier this year, so I need to get back to it. I have restarted watching the first season of Peacemaker though, and I think I laughed even harder this time than I did the first time, and it's such a great show. It just really is, and I know James Gunn has started the Peacemaker podcast, and that debuted a couple days ago, and I've gotten through about 3/4 of it, and it's some great behind the scenes stuff. Really, touches on a little bit that I'm sure they'll touch on a little bit more here in the panel about how they're going to reconcile the fact that the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker season 1 was in the DCEU, and now, of course, we did get the cameo and Superman, and and now he's in the DCU. And part of that, he did tease in that podcast the closet, or well, I guess in season 1 it was behind a bookshelf, but the alternate unit, the quantum QCR, the quantum something universe, is like where his dad was like making all the Peacemaker helmets and stuff. Apparently that has something to do with it, that it's going to show up again in season 2, but it's also that's going to help us explain how we bridge the gap between the two universes. So hopefully we'll get some more details about that during
Yeah, I
the
hope so. Yeah, I really hope so. I just saw a video. I'm looking at Screen Rant on Twitter. I'm looking at Discussing Film on Twitter. They have a video of John Cena in costume as Peacemaker coming out to Hall H. Yeah, I got to tell you, I literally just told the girlfriend yesterday. I was like, babe, we got 2 rewatches we got to do. We got to do the Wednesday rewatch, and we got to do a Peacemaker rewatch because these seasons are fast approaching. So yeah, it's on my list of to do for sure.
So like I said, I started the episode 1, and it's really, really good. I'm gonna pull up, see if I could get some of that video for us to watch here, and for folks who are joining the podcast, that's a great.
What's up, fam? Everybody watching, good to see you guys here.
Please, we'd love to hear from you. So drop a chat, something, your comments in the chat, and any questions that you have. We'd love to hear your thoughts about the season. So a couple things. We're just getting some information from the hall itself, and James Gunn does say that Peacemaker season 2 is definitely part of the DCU now.
Nice.
So that was one of the things, and then of course here's some of that footage of James Gunn walking out to the stage from Comic-Con. Let me share my screen so folks can enjoy that. So there we go.
Oh yeah.
Standing over. In the full Peacemaker,
Yeah. Didn't for like seasons 1 promo marketing, this man, he like wore it everywhere. Everywhere you saw John Cena, he was wearing his Peacemaker costume. He probably slept in that thing.
I think he did because he went. I think every promo, every spot, he was in costume with as Chris Smith, and it was great. That's the thing about this show with Peacemaker. I really appreciate it. I didn't really know the acting chops that Cena had, and that was one of the things that James Gunn talked about on the podcast, was just whenever he got into about how whenever Walter Hamada and the other producers at the studios said, look, we want James, we want you to do carte blanche, pick a character from the Suicide Squad that you would like to do a follow-up show about. And so James Gunn was just like, he wanted to do a show about Peacemaker. And that was the one character that he thought about from that show, from the movie The Suicide Squad, that he really wanted to do. And he gets into like how they had killed Rick Flag Jr. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched I'm bad about that, but if you haven't watched the original Suicide Squad, the second Suicide Squad,
they should have by now. If they're here, they should have watched it by now.
Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, he of course, Joel Kinnaman did such a great job as Rick Flag Jr. in that film.
Yeah, he did.
Folks thought that was something that he would carry forward. But but yeah, let's see what else we got coming
Yeah, I've got
from the
some
interwebs.
updates.
Yeah.
I do see some updates here. Discussing Film on Twitter says that Peacemaker season 2 is set 1 month after Superman,
Okay. Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl will appear in the first episode.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we did know that was yeah, we did get that he was going to be, that we will see those two characters from the movie, and we also knew that this was going to be the first entry, I guess the third entry now, from the in the new DCU.
When you saw Peacemaker pop up in Superman, did your theater give a reaction?
Every time.
Yeah, 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 for sure. It was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool to
because
see him pop up in there.
yeah, yeah, it was, yeah, when I saw, because I went to see the I was to see the Amazon early screening, and as soon as Peacemaker popped in there, theater just erupted. Then again,
Yeah.
and again that Friday night when I saw it again, same thing happened. The theater totally did erupt. Couple things, I'm looking at a scroll from Total Film, uh, and it was going to say, how's Peacemaker doing at the start of the season? Cena says, "quote I'm doing great." Praises Gunn for making material we can all relate to. Uh, Cena on playing different characters. Well, it's different from being invisible. Says Gunn hates the invisible jokes. Stephen A. Yikes about the vampire version, which I'm pretty sure a joke. And so those are some of the comments that are coming from the panel as well.
Yeah, I see
But
a comment here from Brandon Davis. He says Peacemaker discovers a parallel dimension in season 2, and he thinks it's the perfect universe. James Gunn says Peacemaker is a different guy this season. He's dealing with demons he accepted in the first season. That's where this season starts. So a month
okay,
after Superman, he's discovered the parallel dimension, and he thinks it's the perfect universe. That's interesting.
yeah. So I wonder, thinking of what James Gunn mentioned on the podcast, he since he is focusing on a parallel dimension, and of course, as we all know, but for folks who are maybe new to Peacemaker, one of the things about this character is, at least in his current universe, he is seen as a piece of shit, and really part of the thing about season one is we understand why he is that way in his backstory. So it seems like I'm looking at some commentary as well that indeed that confirms that he is going to a parallel dimension, but he is definitely but he in that parallel dimension, whereas he is where in his current dimension, I guess in the DCEU, looked at as a crappy character. I guess in a DCU, he is a hero and has a better life, but the situation has dire consequences.
Wait, interesting. So
Yeah,
there's the show is taking place in the DCEU when it starts off. Is that what they're saying? Like he's still in the DCEU?
maybe it sounds like he's going to be in the DCEU, because I mean, obviously the
Interesting.
version that we see in the DCU and Superman seems like the character that we are familiar with from the DCEU, but yeah, I'm sure we'll
Right.
all get more details as far as how that's going to play out in the
Yeah, it
show.
says John. Yeah, it says he'll play multiple characters, multiple
Yeah,
versions of his character. So,
yeah, yeah.
huh.
So it looks like, yeah. So like as it was noted on the Peacemaker podcast, they did note that they do in his dad's place. They do have that quantum quantum unit where they construct all the Peacemaker helmets and stuff. Because remember, I mean, how in the world can obviously, it's definitely a pocket universe.
Right.
Which we, when you see the house itself, he clearly is going into a pocket universe, and of course, from Superman, we had all these various dimensional doorways that Lex was messing with. So I guess all these things sounds like they're going to be pulling together.
I think they dropped the trailer. I
Okay,
think.
so
Yeah, I
all right,
think
let's
it's on
see.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look to YouTube right now. And then we can we can have a live reaction to the trailer.
Yeah, it says Peacemaker 2. While you look that up, Peacemaker 2 details. Yeah, it takes place 1 month after Superman.
Nope.
Gunn says
Yep.
the world is not accepting Peacemaker, and he discovers a new universe from the QUC that he considers to be the perfect universe. Cena plays Chris from season 1 and his variant from this new dimension. So yeah, interesting.
All right, I'm gonna pull up the trailer here. Just dropped on YouTube a few minutes, about 7 minutes ago. I know we got that teaser earlier, about a couple months ago or so ago.
Yeah, HBO Max, Twitter has it up on their homepage, and then I see it on YouTube.
Here we go. Got it queued up. Let me just share my screen here, and we can watch this glorious thing together. Alrighty, see it?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
You've all been waiting a long time for this one. Here's a new trailer of Peacemaker Season 2. Enjoy.
We doing it up in style.
Hey guys, I got beer. On. Duh. Oh, okay. Okay.
Just hand it to him.
I'll just hand it to him.
I've changed a lot since I last saw you. I don't want to be a joke anymore. I want to be a real hero.
You wear a clown costume and go out and beat up people.
Chris, take something bad and make something good out of it.
I need to find the Peacemaker. He killed my son.
You're being monitored right now.
By who?
Rick Flag, Sr.
Whoa.
What is it?
I have a dimensional portal. And it leads to a parallel world.
What?
It's not that big a deal.
Get the out of now.
My son's a better man you could ever dream of being. I've tried to make up for my mistakes, but I'm not sure redemption is possible.
He's in love with you.
Me and Chris, it's never going to be a thing.
I'm going to make a life in the other world.
Dang.
There's another dimension. It's exactly the same as ours.
But better. Best dimension ever.
Dude, that's sick.
We need to close that dimensional rift.
The condoms are partnering you up with our new agent, Rip Jagger.
Who's Rip Jagger?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Patty. No matter how green the grass is over there, you belong here with us.
We're going to get Chris back.
You met your own self from a parallel dimension? You're wearing his clothes.
You think I bought this? That's painful.
Hi, Mom. We're going to my secret room. You're not allowed to follow.
You must be John.
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
You're not that dorky.
Shut up, Mom.
What you think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm
Yeah,
really curious. I'm really curious to see how this is gonna turn out with the whole parallel universe thing.
yeah,
Um, I can understand why he would fall in love with another dimension, especially one that like adores him or doesn't see him the same way that his world is. Like if his world is not the DCU,
mm,
there's a part of me that thinks to myself, like, I feel like James Gunn wants to keep John Cena as Peacemaker around. So you gotta include him as part of the DCU at some
yeah,
point, like permanently. So it does make me wonder if he ultimately chooses to like leave that world behind. Like maybe he takes his buddies with him. Like maybe
yeah,
they just because I mean, like, I don't necessarily look at him solely as like a superhero or anything like that. I see him somebody that can still make really terrible decisions for his own
yeah,
benefit. But maybe he takes out like everybody, all his doppelgangers, and then they just replace them at the end of the
yeah,
season. I have no idea, but I kind of dig the idea of him playing with this pocket universe, and after everything he has been through in season one, um, the idea of him maybe wanting to leave for greener pastures feels like a natural next step for him as a character. So I'm all on board for this one, man. It looks fun.
yeah, yeah. Definitely looks fun. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it definitely pulls together several things that we were discussing before we watched the trailer. I mean, there's some things obviously they bring back from season one, but then also, um, integrating, as we were talking about the Pole Pocket universe and the alternate dimension, and so we definitely see how that's going to happen. But yeah, I think given where we ended with this character at the end of season one, and then um, seeing that, I guess, truly getting that with that whole concept of the grass is greener on the other side, and that's the thing about James Gunn as a storyteller. One of the things I do
Yeah.
like about him, he always, he just always does in his scripts. It's not, the comic, it's always exploring his protagonist and seeing what their journey is, and whether it's in Guardians, Star Lord, whether it's the Suicide Squad, Chris with season one of Peacemaker, he's always exploring those things, even Superman now. So I think that is something that we'll seeing that with that journey with him in this season, and like you said, they reconcile the two unit, him being, they're dabbling in the multiverse, and so seeing how he all handles those from all the different dimensions is really going to be something that looking forward to catching.
Yeah,
um
I agree. I think James Gunn has a really neat way of when he writes his comic book stuff, he still allows it to be fantastical and fun and vibrant and a part of that world. And yeah,
mm,
his themes always kind of touch on, I think, things that we as everyday people kind of experience, right? I mean, who hasn't thought of the
yeah,
what ifs of
yeah,
the grass is green on the other side sort of thing, and having to contemplate like, man, if I could just like start a whole new life over, or
mm,
if this situation wasn't like this but it was like this, how much better things certainly would be. And I think that's something that we've all had to deal with at some point in time, or we've just thought about before. I don't know. Sometimes the reality of it is that you're fine just where you are, sort of thing. And
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how his supporting cast around him help him navigate sort of that turmoil that he's in, of thinking like that he shouldn't be here, that it's that he needs to go someplace else, when in reality it's probably like, nah, dude, you're fine just where you're at. Like, you gotta push through and make better of the situation that you find yourself in. So I love James Gunn's writing, to be able to have include something like a pocket dimension, but how at the same time can you make that grounded to an emotional stake for some of these characters?
yeah, yeah. Indeed, totally get that. I was just looking at a few more comments from the panel. So I did, as we were talking about, we saw in the trailer, of course, Rick Flag Sr., and of course, clearly as a vengeance turn that he is, trying to get justice for Rick Jr. from Chris killing him in the Suicide Squad. And he does talk about, he does share that, but also he also talks about the opening credits.
Mm.
And I guess James going to call Frank Grillo a great dancer. So be the best. And then the dance student, the dance is apparently inspired by Dirty Dancing.
Oh, okay. We're going there, James. Okay.
Yeah. But looks also they do show some additional footage in Hall H. Someday I've got to get there.
Nice.
But they show a clip from the first episode, and some of the scenes from that is Harcourt's having a rough time. She's at a bar getting sarcastic. Of course, Harcourt is, with some patron hitting on her. She then fights a whole bunch of drunks, breaking bones and doing some acrobatic moves, dishing out as much as she gets. But in the end,
that's actually one of my favorite scenes in the trailers. The first trailer and this trailer too. I love seeing Harcourt kick somebody's ass for sure.
Yeah. So that seems to be some footage that was shown there in Hall H. Of course, Vigilante Freddie Stroma just stole every scene he was in the first season. But with Vigilante, who is Vigilante or Eagly more loyal to Peacemaker? And Vigilante says Vigilante, obviously. Yeah. So says Vigilante will drop anything and everything. James Gunn said Eagly is way less codependent.
I love it. No, I'm looking forward to seeing Vigilante again. I was somebody that I know there were some people that had an issue with his characterization based off of like his live action to a comic book adaptation sort of thing.
Yeah.
I never was I knew of Vigilante. I'd seen him pop up in comic books appearances and things like that, but I never knew of him really well as a character to have an opinion or not. But it is interesting the direction that they went with him, but it really works for me, honestly. I agree. He kind of stole every scene that he was in last season. Yeah.
I mean, my interactions with the characters has just been through the Arrowverse. When he showed up in Arrow, I think it was Arrow season 5, if I recall.
That's right.
So yeah. So that was my only time. I wasn't familiar with the comic books, but just really the other live action iteration of the character. But
did Peacemaker have that motorcycle in season 1? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I don't recall it, but I
don't recall it, but it looks pretty good from the trailer.
Yeah. I'm just starting the rewatch. So anything else from the trailer that stuck out to you?
Well, definitely the new motorcycle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking if they're gonna sell an action figure of Peacemaker, I'm gonna need that motorcycle the more and more that I watch of it. But I am definitely interested in the Rick Flag aspect of things. I know we saw him briefly. Like Rick Flag as a character, I find interesting. Like in the sense of if you followed season 1 of Creature Commandos, I don't want to. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, Will, if you haven't seen it yet. But he finds himself in a position at the end of Creature Commando season 1 that hasn't necessarily been answered or discussed about when you see him again in Superman. Clearly, there's like time has certainly passed. I don't know how much time has passed since those events into Superman, but there's a part of me that is kind of hoping that he talks a little bit about his time from Creature Commandos in the show, even if it's just like part of a monologue or a dialogue, just mentioning what happened for him. But I do want to see that confrontation just based off of what happened to his son. I think that alone makes for some really great television and conflict for his character. But I know Frank Grillo has really boasted about how excited he is to be a part of the DCU. And while I
Mhm.
enjoyed him in Superman, I know he's going to have a much bigger impact in Peacemaker. And so I'm
Yep.
hoping that he really solidifies himself as somebody that I don't want to say like the next Amanda Waller, but
Yep.
somebody that we know, at least maybe aside Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, like somebody who will continue to be like the connective tissue for a lot of the DC stuff, kind of going forward. Not quite so much like a Nick Fury, but I wouldn't mind if he shares that role with Amanda Waller.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I definitely think that could be a place where he goes, especially given what we see of Rick at the end of Superman. Um,
Right.
as far so that could go. One of the things he did say on the panel is that where Rick is in Peacemaker season 2 is that he is it's an evolution of his character from Creature Commandos and Superman. So he's all about revenge, and he does get his hands on. He finally gets his hands on Peacemaker, which we do see that in the trailer there.
Yeah, I really want some emotionally heavy moments from Rick Flag in this show. It felt
Mhm.
like even watching Creature Commandos, he feels some type of way about his son, clearly still missing his son and things like that. So to kind of see those emotions brought to the forefront, um, will be really interesting to me. Just because I think because he was sort of like a side character in Superman, he was really dealing more with Lex and policies
Mhm.
and the idea of trying to take down Superman. He wasn't really focused so much on himself. So I am
Right.
kind of curious as to how some of the decisions that were made at the end of Superman, how he, how he. I just want to see more about how he fits into this world that he's in. Because after Creature Commandos, I wasn't expecting him to be as I don't want to say as much of a politician, but somebody who's clearly in charge of like a department, wearing the suit and tie sort of thing. I really want to learn a little bit more about his character.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's definitely. I do want to learn more about his character as well. And speaking of characters, we do get we do get Tim Meadows joining the cast this upcoming season as well. Just
Really?
found. Yeah, just found. Yeah, I saw that earlier today, and then here I've just found a clip of him.
Oh yeah, I think I
Uh,
saw him. He was in the trailer, wasn't he? In the first trailer
yeah,
too, I think. Right?
yeah. Pop up a video. I just from him on the stage here. Just stand by for a moment.
That's okay. Yeah, I think I remember him from the first trailer where he was like giving out orders to some mercenaries or something like that. And he was just giving them really inappropriate nicknames or something like that. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
eager to see him in this one too.
yeah. He was sharing some thoughts about getting.
My manager said that James wanted to have a FaceTime, meeting, and so we did that. And I was really nervous about it. I didn't want to fanboy out too hard online and start sweating and stuff. But he just explained to me the character and everything, and what was sort of the arc of this guy, and I just was like, yeah, it was the easiest negotiating ever for them. Because I was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever you want me to do. They.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. So that gets to what you were just talking about with this character, and just I guess that just thinking of just hearing Tim's comments definitely got me thinking about James Gunn and his casting, and he even in the podcast he was talking about that with casting Daniel Brooks in season 1, and how generally James Gunn sort of has a fraternity of people. I mean, if it's a James Gunn production, you're going to have Michael
Yeah,
Rooker. You're
yeah,
going to have his brother
yeah.
Sean.
Nathan Fillion will be there
Nathan
somewhere.
Fillion will be there somewhere.
Mhm.
But but Danielle was the new kid in season 1, and so they were sharing some pretty funny stories from the set, and in particular the very first scene when her character Daniel when Leota meets Chris in his trailer. But then also now Tim Meadows. I don't know if Tim has done any projects with James before, but looking at just looking on Twitter, I saw where I think they had, like, James had said he had auditioned a boatload of people, but then once they came across Tim, it was like, yeah, he's the guy for this character that he wants, and this really speaks to James Gunn's casting, because I can't think he's ever. I really can't say I can't. Nothing comes to mind where I was like he missed on casting this person. He usually is on point with his casting.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody, even like looking back at like Superman or some of his past
Yeah, sorry.
some of his past stuff. I can't really think of like bad casting choices. So I definitely agree with you. Yeah, Danielle Brooks is I'm trying to think of what else that she was in. Apparently she was in the Color Purple. She was Orange is the New Black, I think is where
Yeah.
I remember her from. I didn't know she was in The Color Purple, but I do remember also seeing her recently in the Minecraft movie, which was she was pretty fun in it also. So yeah, I love seeing her path and the fact that she's getting recognized to do more stuff here. So I'm glad that she's found herself in sort of the James Gunn family now. So hopefully in future things we'll get to see her. She recently posted a photo, I think, on Instagram of her and David Cornensweet, him in his Superman costume, which started having people start to speculate, because James Gunn mentioned that there was going to be a really big cameo in Peacemaker season 2, and people have been wondering what it is. So people are theorizing now, because Danielle Brooks took a picture with David Cornensweet in his Superman gear, that maybe Superman winds up popping up in this one.
That I would not be disappointed if that happens, because that's the other thing too, with the end of season 1 of Peacemaker, given that it was in the DCEU, and we did get that footage of him of
the Justice
Chris
League.
meeting the Justice League, and remember, and Superman was in the shadows. So
I will say
it could work.
I would say this. I mean, looking at the idea for Peacemaker season 2, the fact that he's going to be first off, the fact that he's going to be in parallel dimensions, and John Cena is going to be playing different versions of himself. Like John Cena, for me, we've got John Cena, we've got Dwayne Johnson, and we've got Batista, that are big time wrestlers in Hollywood. And I think for me, Batista and John Cena are the two that always continue to impress me. And I think it's going to be really fun this season to kind of see the different versions of himself that John Cena is forced to play as Peacemaker in here. But how he gets into the DCU, and just based off of what they said in regards to, Peacemaker is going to be dealing with a lot of stuff from his season 1, clearly learning the truths about his fathers and however he's had to personally deal with it. I would not mind a great moment between Superman and Peacemaker in regards to Superman maybe dropping some knowledge on this guy, some really hopeful knowledge that maybe he needs to hear for himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to your point about the photo, I mean, especially given that we did see him in Superman.
Yeah, he was in the movie. Yeah,
he was in the movie. So, it's very possible that they do have interaction. That could be like, maybe an end credit or something for maybe at some point during the season.
I hope so.
Yeah. Let's catching up on a few things from the panel. James Gunn talks about, of course, the needle drops. As we know, he is the king of needle drops, and he says that season 2 has his favorite soundtrack ever. Of course, everything's just, until the next project. Yeah, but he does say, quote, I mean, first of all, I think the soundtrack this season is my favorite soundtrack I've ever done. He shares. He goes on to say, it's so good, but so many bands I love. It is in line with the soundtrack from the first season, but a lot more modern bands. Actually, a lot more songs from the past, 10 to 15 years or so. So yeah, and then I saw speaking of related to that, did see that Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace. We lost Ozzy this week. Is in it, and the season as far as the soundtrack. So
Nice.
so that's a nice, that'll be a nice little tribute that that obviously wasn't planned, but will be nice to hear Ozzy in the season 2 soundtrack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's always got a great taste for music. James Gunn certainly has. So I'm glad that Ozzy made its way this year. I also am reading, it says that Peacemaker season 2 will establish that there are at least 100 universes in the DCU. Some are
Okay.
parallel worlds, some
Mm.
are nightmarish hell dimensions with giant skull spiders like we saw in the trailer. So at least 100 universes in the DCU. So
Wow.
that'll be
Well,
interesting.
that'll be, this that gets set up for Crisis.
It could up for a crisis, but I feel like we've seen so many crisis events.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
I mean, we haven't necessarily seen it. I don't think we've seen it cinematically, but
No.
I feel like we've seen it so many times in animation. We've
Yeah.
even done it for the DC television world.
Right.
I'm kind of crisis out at the moment,
I
but
hear you. Yeah.
that does beg the question. Like, clearly, if there's 100 dimensions, clearly a crisis has not happened, or at least
Right.
I'm assuming it hasn't happened yet, because there's still so many universes out there. So we could
Yeah.
easily build up to that, but
We
I have
could.
no
Yeah.
idea. I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, and maybe, and to that, and maybe not even Crisis. And maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself, but it does. I think it does open the door to reconciling all the various iterations of these characters that are out there. Because we do have the
That's a good point.
DCEU, we have the Elseworlds, we do have the Batman, and that's the Batman in the room. That could explain how, with the Batman 2 eventually being made, maybe having that simple line in the show could like explain why you'll have Pattinson's Batman, and then maybe you'll give Gunn the freedom to be able to cast his own Batman in the DCU.
I'm
Just theory
also I'm
spiraling
also
in there.
s- I'm also reading, it says James Gunn says Peacemaker 2 is definitely not for kids and
Yeah.
even more extreme than season 1.
Yeah, I just saw that too. Strap
That's
in or come.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strap in, Cena says, or strap on.
um, James Gunn says John Cena turns in an amazing performance in season 2. He compliments Cena's growth as a performer in the time between seasons 1 and season 2. It's really something to see, says James Gunn. And that kind of goes back to the idea of, like, one of the things that I'm looking forward to, knowing that he's going to be playing parallel versions of himself, is to really be able to see what John Cena's range is now.
Yeah.
Outside of just him performing his regular Peacemaker role. So that's
Yeah.
that's inspiring. That's exciting to hear.
That is very exciting to hear, and sounds like there was also some more footage shown in the hall. Tim Meadows and Steve Agee talks about they're surveilling Cena and Brooks, and Meadows' character claims to have bird blindness, and then they have a long conversation about how he can tell the difference between a hummingbird and an eagle. Cena is telling Brooks' character about the quantum unfolding chamber. That's what it's called, the QUC, and basically has a break. Yeah, that's the thing that's in his dad's house, and the portal that goes into the pocket universe. So that I couldn't remember. I know it was like quantum, but I couldn't remember the other things. But that was also shared in the panel.
I
Let's
love
see
it.
what else. Yeah. So again, I guess that's and I guess we did see the QUC in the trailer, because we do see him going off into these into these various universes.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'm fascinated by his wardrobe decisions too in this season.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's got some great
Yeah.
clothing.
For sure. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other things as far as just surfing the various pages I have open. Not too many, so I don't crash my computer.
No, I feel you there. I see Deadline posted something in regards to the trailer and Comic-Con. Trying to see some of the information.
Yeah. Oh, we do just seeing a couple updates as out. Just to go back to what I was saying before, the Gunn family, both Sean Gunn will be back in there as Max Lord, because we know we did
Nice.
see Max Lord at the end of at Superman there, and Michael Rooker is also in it and plays the world's best eagle hunter. Gunn says he's Eagly's Lex Luthor.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
apparently
I can't wait for that
there
one.
was yeah, and apparently there was a debate on the stage about who's the worst pet, Eagly or Crypto, and it's got to be Crypto. Eagly's like the best.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
Crypto.
yeah.
I wonder if we'll see a different version of his father on
Mm.
in another universe too.
Well, it'll have to be. He'll have to be, because in the season 1 universe, he's just a despicable human being.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for
He's
real.
just flat out racist. I mean, I did, whenever I was rewatching this first episode, and they had the whole scene where he's just, Chris is like opening up to him, and trying to have a bonding moment, and then his dad says some obviously offensive point about I hope it wasn't some ex blah 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 who shot you, and then and the whole thing just turns just to show how this just how crappy human being this guy is.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to do my rewatch. I really can't. But yeah, I would love to see him find his dad in like a completely different personality shift, and just
Mhm.
realize like how vastly different his life could have been had he been raised by somebody else
Yeah, yeah,
entirely, you know?
yeah, for sure, because yeah, let's see, I'm just looking to see if there's any other. Let's see, I'm just seeing the same thing I mentioned before about Frank Grillo, just seeing he
I
gets
hope
gets some
Maxwell, I hope his brother Sean Gunn is in more than just one episode. Um, I know he's got him and the Justice Gang that are going to be popping up, but I do wonder if they're going to if they're going to show up anywhere else throughout this season. I would like them to have another role in here, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. James Gunn, we were just talking about Nathan Fillion and Guy Gardner showing up in the first episode. He's like, anytime I can make Nathan have to put on that stupid haircut, I'm happy. For James Gunn. All righty. It looks like just saw a little blog piece. Is that the panel has wrapped up, and of course the show does premiere on Thursday, August the 21st.
August 21st. All right, so I got less than a month to do this rewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a comment. You might have brought this comment up a little bit, but from Deadline, it says James Gunn said about season two Smith, Christopher Smith, or John Cena's character. He says, I really like TV shows where the characters don't just return every season and they're the same exact characters. I want to see growth. I want to see change, and sometimes regression. And
Yeah.
Peacemaker is a different guy this year. He's dealing with demons he's uncovered from the first season and trying to deal with them, and the world is not accepting him the way he is. They aren't accepting him as a hero. That's some heavy stuff, man. That really is.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he also says he likes to kind of see sometimes some regression for a character, that maybe things didn't go as smoothly as you thought. Maybe previous season might have left off a character, and you
Mhm.
return to them either making some of the same mistakes or not fully learning their lesson, type of thing. But yeah, I definitely agree with James there. I love seeing character
Yeah.
growth.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I think, and also, yeah, I love seeing character growth, and then also, when I was just thinking about, we were just talking about the bear on our show, and we were just talking about season 4 and Carmi's growth, but sometimes there may be growth but no progress with the character. But yeah, so I mean, so that could be a situation here where we see some, we do see some, Chris being a better person, but then at the same time, he may, he may still have some rough. be rough around the edges, and you know,
Yeah.
and that's to be understandable, because I mean, people don't change overnight, and you know, at the end of the day, I mean, if he becomes you know, thinking of, you know, if he becomes like too soft and cuddly, then it's not the character that we want.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he can grow, but you know, but at the same time, you know, but I hopefully he will remain, you know, keep those prickish uh, elements to his character as well. But I mean, that's the cool thing too. You know, I guess to you know, given to that point about seeing how Cena has grown as an actor, and you know, given that we are going to see multiple iterations of this character, so it'll be cool to see the range that he displays this season.
Yeah, that's really what I find myself most excited about. I didn't know he was going to be playing multiple characters until
Yeah,
until this trailer, until this panel. So that just added a whole nother level of anticipation for the series that I now have that I didn't have before.
same. I did not know that either. I mean, I did see the teaser, but yeah, but no idea that he was, you know, going to be changing this. And
Do you
just
know how
so
many episodes the season's going to be?
yeah. So just yeah, it's going to be 8 episodes this
8
season.
episodes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
8 episodes. And you know, it
And you
was
said August 21st, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they filmed this, and it makes sense to, you know, to your point about the San Daniel with Dave Cornsweet. They did film this, and I do remember this too. They filmed it parallel with Superman.
That's right. That's right. They did. I forgot filming was taking place at the same time. I wonder if they were just sharing the same lot with each other, or like right near each other, so they could just jump
Yeah,
in and out of set
probably so.
nearby each other if they wanted to.
Yeah, probably so, because I mean, that would make sense, especially given that Gunn was is written and directed both of these
Both of them.
movies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy. I'm always fascinated how somebody can balance that from a directing standpoint. Unless
Mm.
like were they filming at the same time, or did he like wrap
I think
production
I
for
think he
Superman
wrapped
and then
Superman and then rolled
went straight
right into
into
yeah, yeah,
okay. Okay.
yeah.
That would make sense, because I'm like, man, how do you do that? You got to have a lot of like second tier directors or action directors to
Hmm.
kind of have to, like, while you're filming Peacemaker, I have the backup director filming the other Superman stuff while you're. That's the only other way
Right.
I can think of him doing it. But that's
Yeah,
crazy to balance those two like that.
yeah.
I know my man's got to
Let's
be
see.
exhausted.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure, because he's doing all this. I mean, I'm sure he's happy to hand the reins of directing over and writing over Supergirl and Clayface over to the other folks right now. So he can just sort of sit back, start working on Superman 2, and just be it. I know Peter Safran does the business side of the DC you know, studios, but and James focuses more on the creative. But I'm sure he's still, you know, he still has his hands in that part of it as well. And I mean, just the energy this man has. I mean, he's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
It's
You know,
been
I know
everywhere.
some. I've heard some people complain about the fact that he's been promoted so heavily in the Superman marketing stuff, but it's like,
Mhm.
this is the kickoff of a brand new universe. You got to have
Yeah.
the guy that helps creatively, like, be out there in front of everybody. Like, I'm sure as every other movie starts to eventually come out, maybe his presence won't be as heavy, but I can
Yeah.
understand him having some part to do with the marketing, like he does here with Peacemaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will be interested to see how they handle Supergirl going forward, movie wise, if he's out front and center, or if they give that to like Anna Noguera, mostly the writer and the
Mhm.
director. Maybe
Yeah.
James is here, bits and pieces here and there. But I even heard, like, for Creature Commando season 2, that he was getting a writer's room together.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if he even had a writer's room for season 1 or not, or if he was just the sole writer, but it does seem as though he's getting maybe a little bit more help kind of going forward to take some off his plate.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interested to see that. I see several folks are still watching this. I'd love for you to drop in the chat your thoughts on the trailer and some of our conversation if you feel inclined to do so before
Yeah,
we wrap up here.
yeah. I do want to watch this trailer again.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Let me pull it back up. Yeah, so while I'm doing that, I did note there's a couple of additional cast members. Sol Rodriguez, she also joined. Don't know what her character's going to be, but the
who is it?
convo's
Who
Sol
joined?
Rodriguez.
Sol Rodriguez. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Argentina actress.
yeah.
Oh,
She's
I do
here
see.
we go. I'm looking at my notes now. Sasha Bordeaux.
That's what she's going to be playing.
Yeah, yeah. And then of course Tim Meadows' his character is Langston Fleury. And
Oh,
then yeah. And then
Sasha
David.
Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. It looks like she is a superhero. Sasha Bordeaux. Oh, on at least on another universe here, it says she's the bodyguard of Bruce Wayne, and later on becomes an agent and the Black Queen of Checkmate.
Oh. Okay. But yeah, that's a newer character that I'm not familiar with in the DC universe, DC comics
Yeah.
there.
Prime Earth version of Sasha Bordeaux is a director for Argus.
Okay, that makes sense because Argus is the big. So maybe yeah. So because Langston Fleury is one of the Argus director, and of course we know Argus. Obviously is where all the prisoners are held with the chip in the back of their heads and stuff too. So that makes sense.
Yeah, those are the two breakdowns from the DC database from the New Earth version and Prime
Okay.
Earth version of Sasha Bordeaux. So yeah, I'm kind of curious which direction they're going to go with her. But yeah, that's cool. And who was that other person?
The other was Tim Meadows' character Langston Fleury. That's the name of his character.
I'm trying to see if they have any connections to DC Comics. Langston Fleury?
Yeah, Fleury.
Okay. DC, yeah, he's in the comic books also. Oh, I think he's in the comics. Oh, maybe it just flagged him because he's in
Peacemaker.
Yeah, because he's in Peacemaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have him as a character in DC.
Okay.
Like the comic books, but yeah.
Yeah. You want me to pull? Cool. Yeah, but anything else you wanna get into before we wrap up here?
No, were you gonna play the trailer one more time?
Yeah, I have it. Let me. Yep, I can get that set up for us.
I just want to see if it showcases any last things I might want to talk about.
Yeah, sure. Hang on one second. Let me. Hang on. Come on, computer. There we go. My mouse is getting stuck there. This is the intro with Cena. Alrighty, here we go.
You all have been waiting a long time for this one. Here's the new trailer of Peacemaker Season 2. Enjoy.
We doing it up in style.
Hey guys, I got beer. On.
Duh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just hand it to him.
I'll just hand it to him.
I don't know why I find that so funny.
I've changed a lot since I last saw you.
That's a new bike.
I don't want to be a joke anymore. I want to be a real hero.
You wear a clown costume and go out and beat up people. Chris, take something bad and make something good out of it.
I need to find the Peacemaker. He killed my son.
You're being monitored right now.
By who?
Rick Flag, Sr.
Whoa.
What is it?
They have a dimensional portal. And it leads to a parallel world.
What?
It's not that big a deal.
Get the out, is not.
My son's a better man you could ever dream of being. I've tried to make up for my mistakes, but I'm not sure redemption is possible.
He's in love with you. Me and Chris, it's never going to be a thing.
I'm going to make a life in the other world.
There's another dimension. It's exactly the same as ours.
But better. Best dimension ever.
Dude, that's sick.
We need to close that dimensional rift.
The condoms are partnering you up with our new agent, Rip Jagger.
Who's Rip Jagger?
Hey, fatty. No matter how green the grass is over there, you belong here with us. We're gonna get Chris back.
You met your own self from a parallel dimension? You're wearing his clothes.
You think I bought this? That's painful.
Hi, Mom. We're going to my secret room. You're not allowed to follow.
You must be John.
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
You're not that dorky.
Shut up, Mom.
Man, I gotta tell you, looking back at the trailer too, there does seem like there's a moment where Peacemaker and his dad are sitting down having a drink.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's probably a different dimension version of his father. So it does feel like maybe they will tap into that a little bit. But yeah, I love the premise and the potential themes that they set up in here. There is just something really cool about the idea of the grass not necessarily being greener, but being in such a place in your life where you're underappreciated and you're just trying to find some place that accepts you is really, really interesting to me. So that dilemma for Peacemaker is going to be a great one, I think. Even the Harcourt stuff in regards to her relationship with Chris, how badass she just continues to be each and every season. I'm really looking forward to that bar fight of hers in here. And even and especially the Rick Flag and Peacemaker stuff. There's a line in here where he says we got to shut down those dimensions or that portal or something like that. So they clearly discover it, clearly maybe discover that he's utilizing it too. So yeah, I'm curious how the fallout over those pocket dimensions being open in the first place and what that means for their universe. I don't know. There's a lot. There's like 3 or 4 different themes or plots that are happening in this trailer alone that I'm like, yeah, I'm all behind it, man. I cannot wait to see how they execute this.
Yeah, definitely. And then also the trailer, as we were discussing right before I showed it again. We did see the Sacha Bordeaux character, there with Tim Meadows. So it is I guess it is the Argus agent version of that you found in the DC database there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So it looks like we got answer to that question, and then of course some of the things we've talked about here during the stream. We did see the Harcourt fight. Also, I guess they expanded the scenes of Akamos and work because he's working for Flag. It looks like with Argus. He's back at Argus. So, but and surveilling Cena and Chris and Leto as well. So I guess I guess in the hall, I guess they expanded on that scene with the bird watching comments and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yeah, so so even though we at home didn't get some of the more drawn out scenes from the trailer, definitely looks like folks in the Hall H did get that. So now, putting the context, it's great to have someone to have you here to talk with through these things, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm seeing some of these things that we were discussing here on the stream. Pop up in the trailer and put them in better context. So yeah, this is I can't wait for August 21st.
Yeah, man, me either. I'm gonna have to. You said you've made your way. How many episodes you made your way through so far for season one?
I just restarted it this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I just restarted it because I wanted to restart it, and then I watched it Wednesday, and then James, the podcast, the official Peacemaker podcast. I'm not trying to plug for HBO or anything right now, but it is actually a good podcast. I mean, it's a lot of good. It's not just fluff. I mean, it's really cool. Gunn had, of course, in the first one, he had his wife Jennifer Holland, who also plays Harcourt, and Steve Agee, who plays John Amos on that episode. But really got into some cool back behind the scenes stuff if you're into that kind of thing, and how just the production of season one and all that. So they're doing rewatches for all episodes leading up to season 2.
Yes, I'm gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna have to. I haven't listened to the podcast yet. Maybe I'll give that a listen for myself also. But especially as I'm rewatching the show.
Yeah, and they talk about some of the scenes, per episode. So they're going episode by episode. So
they are okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. So they give the spoiler alert beforehand, and but it is very good if you're into like those types of podcasts and stuff. And James is as open as he always is. Whether he's on debunking things on social media, but also giving you context about things that happened in the season 1, and also he did share some things about season 2, like for example the quantum unit, and how season 1 it was in his dad's house, and that's the other thing we saw in season 1, but we see now that it looks like it's a closet in his bedroom in season 2, because he's looking at it there when he's making the decision to step through to a better world.
Yeah, I really like the setup here. I'm definitely gonna do my rewatch, but I'm excited to see how this all comes together, especially after watching Superman. If anything, I think this is going to be a really good opportunity for them to continue to expand and build on this world. The only thing I'm hoping for is that as James Gunn continues with the television and film side of things, while I know that this is sort of like the next step after Superman, James Gunn has been saying, like, if you've seen Superman, if you want to see what the next step for the DCU is going to be, it's going to be Peacemaker season 2 to certainly watch it. I just hope Peacemaker doesn't become homework if we have to eventually see like a Supergirl down the line, or even a Lanterns down the line. If we don't, I have no problem with him expanding the world. It's just those really big connective tissue pieces for like an overall story arc that he may be trying to do in the movies. I hope some of that stuff doesn't get lost in the TV shows too much, to where it doesn't feel like it's homework for general audiences,
For sure. I know that was a big problem with MCU over time, and that was one of the things that was nice about Fantastic Four, just to cross the streams here for a minute. Didn't feel that you could go into it without feeling like you had to do a bunch of homework. And I think given that he was in that universe, I think he will understand that you don't want to make it too hard on viewers, because after a while it reaches a point where it becomes inaccessible for new folks.
Or even I would be even open to the idea that if we do get big moments within Peacemaker, there's a part of me that's kind of hoping, while I get why I understand why they did it for Superman in the sense of beginning the movie with some level of like a opening crawl. I would not be opposed if each movie in the DCU begins with an opening crawl in regards to if there are some things that you missed that are important, they can bring that up for you, type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. That is a good point. It's like previously on.
Yeah, I would not
Yeah.
mind it previously on, especially if you're going to be highlighting television aspects in your overall cinematic universe. I think it'll definitely help going forward, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me. I really enjoyed doing this stream with you. Tell folks what you got. Yeah. Tell folks. I'm glad I was able to have you on my platform after you've had us at your house. I'm glad to invite you over to our house, and appreciate you joining me to watch this trailer and give our thoughts on season 2, the upcoming season 2 of Peacemaker. But tell folks where they can find you, what you got coming up on your podcast.
I should have put my my social media handle on my headline. I forgot to add it. But if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at A+ Opinions. That's APLUS Opinions. If you want to follow us over on YouTube, we got a YouTube channel, most definitely, called A+ Hero Report. We do have a live show dropping for you guys tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. where we pretty much wrap up all the big news from movies and television from your favorite fandoms and franchises. So follow us Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a big show tomorrow. As far as the rest of the week, who knows, man? I do want to do a Fantastic Four spoiler review discussion at some point this week. I'll probably give a non-spoiler review tomorrow on Fantastic Four. And then, yeah, follow us on TikTok also at Hero Report. We do a lot of shorts over there, especially shorts over on our YouTube channel also. So YouTube, TikTok, and if you want to pick any social media at A+ Opinions, I would say probably our Twitter and our Facebook page especially. But nerds unite. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you got your social media game's top notch, man. I have to say you're on
I'm
top
trying.
of breaking
I'm
breaking all
trying.
breaking all the news and all the stories and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man. But thanks for being here. And
Appreciate it.
this
Well,
week,
thanks, man.
this week on our podcast, Sarah and I will be doing our Fantastic Four spoiler review on. We're recording it Monday night, and we'll be dropping it later that evening. So be sure to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Also, we're on all the audio platforms as well. So the easiest way to find us is go to our website, www.cenanerdpodcast.com. I've had it on the little splash sheet throughout the show, but go check us out there, and you can find me on all the socials at Will M. Polk, except for TikTok, because as I noted, I'm not there, but at Will M. Polk. And you can also find our show account on all the socials as well. We're on Twitter at Cena Nerd, Blue Sky at Cena Nerd, also Instagram and Threads at Scene_N_Nerd. And then, of course, you can find us here on our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and be sure to like, subscribe, comment. If you're watching this later, let us know your thoughts about Peacemaker Season 2. We'll be covering a show on our podcast as well, and maybe we'll have Adam back over to do maybe a cross review sometime also on that. And with that, take care. Good night.